Aloha, mabuhay! Hello everybody out there in the interwebs. I'm going to do a review on the Hisense 70-inch H65 TV. Alright? I see a lot of reviews out there, and I'm going to do a review as well as go through the menu and kind of show you what I've seen, what I would tweak from the default settings, but overall is it a good TV? And the quick and answer, if that's what you're trying to get, bang for your buck at MSRP of $649. Great TV. I've heard people getting it on Black Friday for $399. Outstanding deal. I got mine, in between there, and I am perfectly happy. I'm a big Sony fan. So I just wanted to see what kind of technology you get today in, March 2021, right? So this is what you get. Again, I'll go through this, and this is one quick sweet screenshot, which is typically a very dark, HDR shot. I'll try to probably put another Dolby Vision shot. It does show that contrast, and again, for that price, I can't even believe the picture you get. If there's other TVs that are out there are similar, please let me know in the comments. But again, overall, if you're trying to see if this is a TV to get for the $649 or lower, 100% yes, right? 70 inches. I mean, 70 inches. I'm 5'6", and I couldn't put the TV up. I mean, you can't really tell by this, but I couldn't put the TV up, right? I definitely needed help on that. So that's kind of a cool thing. Even if I went like this, how do I get it on the rack, right? So it's a good sized TV. I am 15 feet away. That makes a big difference, right? Do I think could I win 65? 100% yes. But this actually, you don't see the bottom of my entertainment center, but it is exactly right to left, I believe 62 inches, and it fits perfectly when you're looking at it against the wall, right? I got it at a little tilt, so that's why it looks like this. It's the shape, right? But definitely a couple of things I want to show you. When you get to the lower end TVs, entry level TVs, things like that, I'm going to try not to say lower end, but when you get into the entry level TV, especially under 1,000 for a 70-incher, 1,000 for a 55-incher, when you look at pricing, you would think that that's where you have to get to, right? And if you compare it to OLED, then you're not going to be happy. But honestly, price for what you get, it's amazing, right? I'm going to keep saying that because it really is. This is really a dark scene. I think I mentioned that before. But look at it. I mean, I don't know if you can see it exactly that, because it's meant, when I angle my TVs, it's meant for the eyeballs to get into that direct plane, right? So maybe not the best shot, but I'm trying to make the ring on this light not show up. So try to get to this shot. I think it's at about 1:32 on the Star Wars: The Force Awakens. And there's a lot of contrast shots. The ones with Chewie on them, oh my goodness, man. You can see the hair, the contrast between the black scenes and when he's on the Millennium Falcon, all that kind of stuff, right? So, yes, I'm a Star Wars geek, but I think that just the cinematography and all that kind of thing is great on it, right? John Wick scenes, that's a very dark HDR. You got to have a really good TV to see those. And I don't turn my lights off, just to let you know when I watch TV, right? And, of course, if you do that, it's better and all that kind of stuff, right? So hopefully that's not too much of a tangent on that. But I just wanted to show you a scene where it is, it's look at the bottom scenes, what's black on black right here. It's black, right? Just take a look at it. It's a great scene, right? Let me go and play a little bit more on this, and then you'll kind of get a better picture. Let's see. Okay, sorry. And then just kind of let's go through it. I mean, I'm just comparing the black, Chewie, So I don't want to get too sad, right? I don't want to get too sad. That's definitely not one of those scenes that we don't want to get too much into it, right? I mean, and we're not talking about movies or anything, but damn great movie. All right, so I'm just trying to show you that. People say there's bleeding on the end. I mean, this is just a transition on the Xbox screen. But I wanted to show you, this is the Xbox, right? Xbox has Dolby Access, and Dolby Access is a great tool to test your Dolby Vision and your Dolby Atmos, right? Today we're talking about the Hisense TV, so we're more talking about the Vision, like the HDR contrast. But what happened before is I actually went to Dolby Access, and what you're gonna, once you turn it on, you will see certain key things that you'll start to kind of count on, and then you'll know that if you're getting what you set up. And again, I'm doing a lot of testing, so once you get yours dialed in, you shouldn't have this problem, but mentally understand what goes on, right? So if you expect Dolby Vision, if it says Dolby Vision tag on Netflix, on Disney, on Xbox, you should get a Dolby Vision box here in the corner. And let's just go ahead and demo that, or kind of give you a mental picture of what that is, right? So I know that this is supposed to have it. I click Dolby, access the application, Dolby Vision comes on. All right? So what happened earlier on, which you probably saw, is that I noticed that this Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos demo wasn't there. This, I know which ones, like Dolby Vision Asteria. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. I know that if Dolby Vision is not being recognized, then those won't show up. Okay? Great. That's why it's a great testing tool for the Xbox, right? And then at the same time, if it doesn't show up, you get Atmos. And if Atmos isn't configured correctly, and this is not an Xbox configuration, I'll probably do that. If you need that, put it on the comments and I'll do that. There must be a lot of configuration there, tutorials for that, right? Because the community is large and does everything. But so I noticed that. So boom, back on track. But that's kind of a good use case of what we're trying to do here, right? Just kind of share everything that we're trying to learn, right? So boom, we're back into it. So just a couple of things. You know, the great thing about some of these demos is that it gives an explanation to maybe somebody that's not into it. That somebody just, you're trying to show why you're spending so much time on this kind of stuff. Because it really does a really good demo. You know, back in the day when theaters did like a lot of THX. I haven't been to a movie theater in a while. So it's March 2021. But you know, where you can tell the speakers are coming from wherever. If you haven't seen this vision, it's kind of educational. So I'll play it for a little bit. It actually is 2 minutes and 14 seconds. But let's go take a look at it.
You are about to experience a revolution in entertainment technology. The fusion of Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos transforms your TV into an entertainment powerhouse. Dolby Vision is cinema HDR that brings TV to life with dramatic imaging, astonishing brightness, color,
Hisense.
contrast. Dolby Atmos puts you inside the action with bigger, more encompassing sound that fills your room, even overhead. Now, experience the power of Dolby Vision
Great demo.
and Dolby Atmos.
Walls. The colors are spectacular. And of course, this isn't an OLED TV. Now, what I'm hoping and crossing my fingers on is that you actually saw the differences during that thing. Now, just take a look at it again. It's all black, right? This is the going back to the screen. So, you know, pause, rewind, take a look at that. You know, when people are talking about it's bleeding, if it is bleeding, $6.99. That's all I got to say, right? Now, that being said, I'm going to start going into the settings, okay? And when I go into the settings, I'm just going to use the regular Hisense remote. And I'm just going to go and show you what I did. A couple things to watch for, and things like that, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and press the 3 little lines right here, and that is the menu button, just in case you're kind of new to the scene, right? Boom. instant. It happened in a minute, right? Or excuse me, sorry about that. It was instant. It happened in half a second. You got picture, sound, audio only. I'll tell you when I use that, sleep timer, and settings, all like that. So let's just go one by one. Picture, okay? Go to picture. Because this isn't Dolby Vision, you have Dolby Vision as an option, okay? Probably another way you can test it if it's Dolby Vision quality. Outside of that, it's going to be stuck on Dolby Vision, and this is where you kind of get this is where you kind of have to be able to make those adjustments, right? If it wasn't Dolby Vision, which I'll go do later, I'll show you the regular settings, the vivid, standard, and those kind of things, right? Theater, all that kind of stuff. So this is all default until I get to down here. Just in case you haven't, if it's grayed out, make sure you are on enhanced format mode. You can just hit enter and then make sure you're in that enhanced format mode versus standard. Just do that. That's for sound and the actual and vision too, right? Okay, so go back there. That's one thing. And then I go in the advanced settings. This is all default. One quick thing just want to show you is that when you go to low, it's very. Let's see if we can show you. It's very kind of a more yellowish, and then you go into to high. It's a little more cool, a little more. I'm not going to say bright and dark. It's just you're more leaning to the yellow side, and then more leaning to the cool. Usually it's warm and cool on the Sony's kind of things, right? So I like what was it, mid-low, because it just the contrast, right? Sorry about that. And you can please play around with these, right? Go to a dark scene and play around with noise reduction and digital noise reduction and things like that. Again, I did it on default, right? And now this is where I play with the active contrast. This is where I say this is where you spend the most time, because it really is showing you the blacks and the contrast between these things right there. So if I go off, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell on this Xbox, but if we go, maybe I'll go to another scene, but I don't know if you saw that, it kind of got a little bit brighter, right? Now, I'll try and do that a little bit later, but this is where you play around with it. I try to get it close to off as possible, right? Higher, what I'm seeing is that let's say you go to a dark scene, non-Dolby Vision, right? Let's say you go to just a YouTube video, and I'm going to give you some examples and watch The Voice, a recent one, right? High quality, and then because they have the black background, because it's a stage, you'll be able to see where the light's moving around and panning around. You'll see where the gray and the black are, and you want to make sure that's not a harsh line or a jagged line, right? And that's just an example, right? Again, this is Xbox on Dolby Vision, so everything is tight. Okay. So that being said, that's for Dolby Vision. Remember I was talking about from my Dolby Vision Xbox to my TV. Now the picture is going to be just regular. Now the picture mode is going to show you vivid, standard, and all those kind of things, right? I do theater day. That's just my preference. If I went vivid, it'd be vivid, right? I go theater day though. So play around with those. That's the idea. Come down here, and then you'll see the same things. I want to make sure my 2.0 format is enhanced, right? I go to advanced settings. I want to make sure I know my color temperature. You get to know more about that. Again, the more lower you use the preferred settings of the noise reduction and the digital noise reduction, that's the more you know about that, and the more you have your preference, the greatest. Again, active contrast is really want to focus on, and that's where you want to make sure the contrast where the grayish to the black and how it's moving. What I mentioned, right? I always keep color space at native. You can go to auto, right? I keep it at native though. That's just kind of how I was brought up, right? On the sound side, man, I gotta tell you. Of course, I have a sound system, so I'm on ARC, but let's get that off ARC. Let's go to TV, right? These are the settings you have. I have tweaked them. I've listened to them. I've gotten it down to. I turned off the true volume and things like that. I like clarity, voice dialogue clarity. Play with this, okay? It even tells you if you're mounted on a wall or not, right? So this is, I actually turned it off because that's more bass when it's not. That's just, you play with it, right? So, take a look at all that kind of stuff, and this kind of gives you PCM, lip syncing, just in case you're off. One thing I did do, I usually do, and I probably didn't do it for the Xbox because it is per control, is I went ahead and just did the V curve, highs and lows in that V curve formation fashion. If you have questions, go to comments, right? Didn't do it here because I usually do YouTube videos. When I cast my YouTube videos, that's where it's set up. So maybe I'll do that at the end, okay? Okay, so sound, this TV sound, amazing. For the price point, for any price point, my Sonys don't sound it. It has bass. It has a wide depth. Could be because it's a wide TV, but you don't have to rush to get an AV system. I'm just going to tell you that right now. If you have an apartment, if you have a studio, I have a loft, and it still sounds really good. When I say I have a loft, I'm not trying to be flashy. I'm just saying can you hear me? It's echoing in here, right? So I need tight sound, directional things, right? But it is amazing. I always, even at nighttime, I turn off my AV system. Even though I have night mode, I turn it off and I just watch my YouTube videos and things like that on my regular TV sound. I paid for it, right? So one of the few times I'm very surprised on the actual sound there. So let me go turn it back to my AV. The way I do that is I go into here and I put it back into ARC. Okay. Boom. So that is that setting here. I'll go into audio only. Audio only is like, let's say you're doing Bluetooth and you don't want the screen to be on for whatever reasons, it's nighttime or old school burning, all that kind of stuff. You turn that on and it turns off. Okay, the screen turns off while your AV stuff is still going on, right? Sleep timer, you should understand that. You set the mode in just in case you fall asleep and it just turns off and all that kind of thing, right? And these other settings you're going to see here, it gets into the inputs, right? It talks about what your inputs are. You can rename them and things like that, right? HDMI control, like CEC. This is where they talk about CEC. That's where that is, where everything gets controlled by your ARC system. One thing this is not eARC, it's ARC. Do I personally care? Because I have a third-party AV system, all my inputs, all my source inputs, my Apple TV, my cable box, my Xbox goes into my AV receiver, and then it goes from one cable goes into the ARC. eARC would be better because now I only say that if you're going to Dolby Atmos and all that kind of stuff, you need eARC if you're going to try and use that whole cabling management system, right? So just if you have questions, put on the comments and I'll kind of explain a little bit more. There should be a lot of explanations out there. Okay, so device settings auto off with the TV. Of course, again, I'm doing that because I'm trying to leverage all my regular single controllers and all that kind of thing, right? Okay, power on. So, that's the CEC stuff right there. Okay. Go back, parental controls, not really going to get into that. If you use that, go ahead and read up on that. I don't have any kids and yes, I would turn on if I had kids in here, okay? Now this is my, you're just doing your network type stuff. I don't sign into my TV. Just it is what it is. Has all the apps that you have for your TV. All these are right here. Let's go into the menu system of the TV. Menu system is the home button. Okay, let's do that. And this is the actual Android Roku type system, right? So is it clear? Heck yeah, it's clear. It's very clear. I like it a lot, Some other settings you might want to come up to. Just get up here to the top. Go back in. Oh, let's just go back into the settings, right? So, it's fast. As you can tell, it's quick. It's fast. Man, it's amazing. Amazing. All right. Device preferences. Let's go in there just so you can see what that is. This kind of shows you, your Alexa service. I don't have it on. You go ahead and play with that if you want. I have Alexa all over the house though. So, big fan. Okay. Screensaver. You want to turn that on. The backdrop, all that kind of stuff. Let's just do start now, and then you got your screensaver going. If I'm going too fast, again, pause and rewind and do all those kind of things. But, let's just stay with this right now just because of the fact that, this is, Chromecast is built into it, and these are the kind of scenes you get. Amazing quality TV. Let me do one more thing here. I will go ahead and put a YouTube video on. And then when I put that YouTube video on, I'm going to use the TV sound so you can see the TV. I'm picking what source I should use here. So let me use the TV. So I'm going to go do Apple TV. Excuse me, I'm going to do YouTube. I'm going to press the YouTube button on here. Okay. It's going to go into YouTube.
You have to go ahead and do all the settings.
Let's not go look at that video. Let's show you one of my videos here. I'm going to go and just go to the voice because it's, I like it. So, hopefully that helps, right? I mean, the sound is great. Like I said, you saw I started at 7 because usually at nighttime, 7 is good enough, but I'm sitting there. And then, I moved it up to like 14, right? And that's loud. That's enough for the daytime, and it does a lot more. It doesn't crack or anything like that. So, man, you gotta love technology and the price and and how it's moving and how it's getting to be more affordable and things like that, right? So 70-inch Hisense HG model, H65 model. Got it at Best Buy. MSRP at $645. Typically it's lower. I don't want to quote what the other markets are at, but it's a high recommendation. I've had TVs all my, from whenever I could afford it, many years ago to now. I'm talking about from plasma to this and bang for your buck. Unbelievable what you can get for, I think I've seen videos what you can get for under $1,000. And again, this is less, I did see a lot of the 75 inches. I mean, it was, again, 15 feet, 70 inches is plenty. I can go 65. I had a 55. Right, I'll even put a little picture there with the size differences of it all, because I had side by side. If you have any other questions, please let me know. I'm more than happy to answer them. I mean, it's just one of those things where I'm excited about it because it's everybody, not everybody. And I'm sorry if I'm saying that that $750 is easy to get. It's not, right? You earn your money, do what you gotta do. But I'm just saying, if you are into this and it's within reach, gotta try this TV out. You gotta try it out, and hopefully that helps you. I think I covered everything from the Dolby, from the inputs to the how to check the settings out and things like that. Anything you want me to double check, put in the comments, and I'm more than happy to do that. All right, this is Ray from the Bay. Hope it helps.